The winner of this match, and you, gives me goosebumps every time. Why? Because it mattered, and that's what titles are all about. It shows the company is fully behind a superstar when they win lots of titles. Now in this list, many may surprise you, and they might make you think, eh? Really? And let me know the ones that surprise you in the comments below. Now before we crack on with this list, a bit of housekeeping. We are taking into account 3 major wrestling countries: the USA, Japan, and Mexico. In the USA, we're looking at WWE, NWA, WCW, ECW the promotion before it became a WWE brand, Impact, AEW, AWA, Ring of Honor, and PWG. In Japan, we're looking at New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling, Noah, the defunct IWA, and also the PWF and NWA IC titles. And in Mexico, we're looking at CMLL, AAA, and UWA. Now get yourself a drink, get comfortable, and drink it all in, because my name's Nathan from What Culture Wrestling, and these are the wrestlers with most world titles across all major federations. Number 41. Steve Austin with 6 WWE Championships. The glass shatters, and opening this one is the Rattlesnake. What could have happened if it wasn't for that pile driver from Owen Hart, eh? Regardless, he stayed at the top for years as the face of the company. He had the best-selling shirt at the time and revolutionized the business forever. Mate, I could go on and on, but we got a long list, and everyone knows the accolades of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Number 40, Suwama with 6 Triple Crown Heavyweight Championships. Probably the biggest name in All Japan Pro Wrestling alongside Jun Akiyama. His last reign ended in 2017 to Joe Doring. He was Triple Crown Champion for 818 days, which is a rarity in wrestling today, and that's why he sits higher than Steve Austin in this list, who had a tally of 529. Number 39, Batista with 4 World Heavyweight Championships and 2 WWE Championships. Now I don't know about you, but when I think of Batista, I think of the big gold belt, the World Heavyweight Championship around his waist as he makes the fireworks go off on the entrance ramp. But the WWE title also sat on his shoulder a couple of times. He held the World Heavyweight Championship for a second best combined total of 507 days. Now go on, 10 points if you can guess who was the first. He also holds the accolade with the longest individual reign of 282 days. He beat Triple H at WrestleMania 21 to begin his ascension at the top, and eventually retired at WrestleMania 35 after he beat up poor Ric Flair on his 70th birthday. What a birthday present that is, eh? Number 38, Randy Savage with 4 WCW Championships. Ooh, yeah! Great in the ring, great on a promo, great entrance, great music, great ring attire. The man was just great. Now if it wasn't for Hulkamania, surely he's next in line to be the man, isn't he? He goes to WCW, and guess who's there again? Hulk Hogan. Give the man a break. Saying that, he's on this list due to his WCW title reigns, and going by what his peers said and me as a fan saw, he really was one of the best. Number 37, Booker T with 5 WCW Championships and 1 World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I didn't really need to tell you how many WCW titles Booker T won, did I? The 5-time WCW Champion and the one-time World Heavyweight Champion has done it all. He was one of the few WCW stars to jump over to the WWE once WCW closed its doors, and he got over during the Alliance. Whether he was wrestling The Rock at SummerSlam, wrestling Stone Cold Steve Austin in a grocery store, or tag teaming with Goldust, he was as influential as anyone in the WWE. Now can you dig that, sucker? Number 36, Kevin Nash with 5 WCW Championships and 1 WWE Championship. His 5 WCW title reigns combined a total that doesn't even exceed 100 days. Surprising, I know. Everyone who was a fan of wrestling during the 1990s knew who Kevin Nash or Diesel was. He was at the top of the card of the promotions that he entered in. He also ended Goldberg's undefeated streak. He was the longest WWE champion of the 90s and carries 2 Hall of Fame rings. But many people do remember the finger poke of doom, which everyone wants to forget. Well, I do anyway, because it's the time I realised wrestling wasn't real. Thanks, Kev. Number 35, Adam Pearce with 5 NWA Championships and 1 PWG Championship. If you're unfamiliar with Adam Pearce's previous accolades, then you might know him from the WWE when a big brawl happens in the ring or backstage. Someone gets attacked, and after they leave, he runs in alongside loads of other refs and agents calling for medical assistance so they can get that injured superstar to a medical facility or a hospital. That's what I'd call it. But there's more! He was the second ever PWG champion and was a centerpiece of the NWA post-TNA. He also replaced someone called Bryan Danielson in the final of Reclaiming the Glory tournament, winning the NWA championship for the first time. Number 34, The Big Show, with 2 WCW championships, 2 WWE championships, and 2 World Heavyweight championships. The Big Show is a name that really doesn't get the respect that he deserves. He's a multi-time world champion, and quite frankly, he is an attraction in the wrestling ring. Whether you like him or hate him, he's worked hard in the wrestling business and deserves to be on this list. The son of Andre the Giant also once beat Chavo Guerrero with a 450 splash from the top rope. Now, which one of those do you think is a lie? Okay, they were both lies. The Big Show's been in the ring with anyone and everyone from The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, Mick Foley, Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker, Kane, and anyone and everyone else. And he makes this list with a total of 6 world titles. Number 33, Jeff Hardy, with 3 Impact World Championships, 2 World Heavyweight Championships, and 1 WWE Championship. With all the personal issues that Jeff Hardy has been through in recent times, he's a 6-time world champion, which should command a tip of the hat, which I'm doing right now. You can't see it, but I'm doing it. Like his in-ring career, he never gave up and kept fighting. Just look at the ladder match versus The Undertaker for the undisputed title. He also beat Edge at Extreme Rules 2009, realizing a lifelong dream to become the WWE champion for the first time, and that big feud with CM Punk as well, which really elevated both men to the world title picture. Even up to the current day, he continues to swanton bomb on all the doubters. Number 32, CM Punk, with 3 World Heavyweight Championships, 2 WWE Championships, and 1 Ring of Honor Championship. Whether he was a heel, face, or tweener, CM Punk is the one. Whether it's Jeff Hardy, The Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, Chris Jericho, Paul Heyman, I could keep going on and on, but we'd be here all day. Just look and listen to the match against John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011. The electricity in the arena is something that we don't get to see very often in the current day. Number 31, Seth Rollins, with 2 WWE Championships, 2 Universal Championships, 1 NXT Championship, and 1 Ring of Honor Championship. The man of many monikers, the Monday Night Messiah, the Architect, the Kingslayer, the Monday Night Rollins, and many more. He's a multi-time champion, and it's clear the office had big plans for him after he turned his back on his Shield brothers. Rollins went from the most loved to the most hated, taking eyes out at Extreme Rules. I mean, yeah, he's been on a bit of a journey of discovery. A journey that will no doubt bring more world titles in the future. Number 30, Kevin Owens, with 3 PWG Championships, 1 Universal Championship, 1 Ring of Honor Championship, and 1 NXT Championship. It wasn't so long ago Owens turned his back on his best friend Sami Zayn in NXT. He also debuted on the main roster against John Cena in a series of matches that caught the wrestling world's eyes. He won the Universal title, and he had that brilliant partnership with Chris Jericho and the Festival of Friendship, which I absolutely loved. The Universal title isn't on the same level as the WWE title, frankly, because it's not been around as long. Now, I think Kevin Owens will win the WWE title one day, but of course, that's all up to Vince. Number 29, The Undertaker, with 4 World Heavyweight Championships and 3 WWE Championships. On paper, explaining to a non-wrestling fan about a person acting like a zombie, rolls his eyes back, wears all black, and creates electric shocks with their hands, they'd probably roll their eyes back and laugh in your face. But The Undertaker made it work. He stood the test of time and created the most popular gimmick in history. He definitely needs a Hall of Fame of his own, and the Dead Man, in my opinion, sits right in the middle of the Mount Rushmore. Number 28, Bret Hart, with 5 WWE Championships and 2 WCW Championships. Lionel Messi is a genius on the football pitch. Steven Spielberg is a genius at directing. Bret Hart, he's alright in the ring, I suppose. joke. He's a genius in the ring. He's not going to go down as the best promo in the world, but in ring, he is unbelievable. I don't think there's anyone that could touch him. The excellence of execution is one of the greatest of all times, and pretty much every wrestler looks up to him. The Edges, the CM Punks, the Daniel Bryans, the Eddie Guerreros. We might see a few of those names on this list. Number 27, Jumbo Tsuruta with 3 NWA championships, 3 Triple Crown championships, and 1 AWA World Heavyweight Championship. Jumbo won the NWA belt from Bruiser Brody in 1983, and Giant Baba declared him long before Tanahashi as Japan's ace. Jumbo will go down as one of the most important names in all Japan's history. Number 26, Kensuke Sasaki with 5 IWGP Heavyweight Championships, 1 Triple Crown Championship, and 1 GHC Heavyweight Championship. Kensuke never managed to reach the mainstream like Jushin Thunder Liger and Kenta Kobashi, but he was the first ever to win all of Japan's 3 world titles, and that's why you find him on this list. Wrestlers like VADER and TATSUMI Fujinami were no more, and the types like Shinsuke Nakamura and Hiroshi Tanahashi were not yet fully established. Sasaki's match at Noah Destiny 2005 against Kenta Kobashi was rated 4.75 stars by the man with many stars, Dave Meltzer, and it won Match of the Year, and I tell you what, those chops, ooh! Sasaki also received the Tokyo Sports Lifetime Achievement Award, and that, my friends, is all we need to know. Number 25, Chris Jericho with 3 World Heavyweight Championships, 2 WCW Championships, 1 WWE Championship, and 1 AEW Championship. He is the man of 1,000 gimmicks and a true GOAT to the wrestling business. You ready? He is the Ayatollah of rock and roller, Y2J, the best in the world at what he does, Lionheart, the Painmaker, the Alpha, Lay Champion, Lay Demo God. I've missed loads, haven't I? But whatever it was, we all drank it in, man. To think he started as a cruiserweight champion and went on to be the first ever undisputed champion, beating Stone Cold and The Rock on the same night, and he turned out to be an absolute legend, and arguably the last 5 years has seen Jericho doing his best work of his career. Number 24, Alberto Del Rio with 2 WWE Championships, 2 World Heavyweight Championships, 1 Impact Championship, 1 CMLL World Heavyweight Championship, and 1 AAA Championship. Although Del Rio was set to be at the top of the mountain in WWE, he never came off as a megastar whilst under Vince McMahon. Saying that, he is a multi-time world champion in various promotions, but I don't think we will be seeing Del Rio in the WWE Hall of Fame anytime soon. Number 23, Hiroshi Tanahashi with 8 IWGP Championships. I'm just going to roll a few, and I repeat, a few of the accolades. 8-time IWGP Champion, 2-time IC Champion, 3-time Tag Team Champion, G1 Climax 3 times, New Japan Cup 2 times, main evented Wrestle Kingdom 8 times, won Wrestler of the Year 2011 to 2013. He won the Tokyo Sports MVP Award 4 times. Oh, I'm gonna take a breath because that was a mouthful. Why you gotta be so successful, Hiroshi? He had intensity, physicality, and storytelling, and for me, that's what I want in a match. In the 90s, the ace of all Japan Pro Wrestling can really be considered as GOAT level. That's an accolade not given out very often, only to the best of the best. Number 21, KEIJI Muto with 4 IWGP Championships, 3 Triple Crown Championships, and 1 NWA Championship. Much like Finn Balor, KEIJI Muto switched between his 2 characters. He was either KEIJI Muto or Muta Muto. His first IWGP title came in 1992, and he had 3 more under his belt before the year 2000. In the next decade, he moved to All Japan Pro Wrestling and won a few Triple Crowns there. Muto had a run as a dual champion as Triple Crown and the IWGP, but that ended at Wrestle Kingdom 3 in 2009 when he lost to Hiroshi Tanahashi. I tell you what, there's some great names in this list, innit? Number 20, Tatsumi Fujinami with 6 IWGP Championships, 1 NWA Championship, and 1 UWA World Heavyweight Championship. Tatsumi done the small feat, not really, of defeating Flair in the main event of the first ever WCW New Japan Super Show in 1991. He was also the first ever person to hold the IWGP and the NWA title after that. He won the WWF Junior Heavyweight title, thank you Vince for changing the name, that's another mouthful, and he was voted the best technical wrestler by the Wrestling Observer News in 85, 86 and 89, so there you go, a deserved name on this list. Number 19, Harley Race with 8 NWA championships and 1 PWF World Heavyweight Championship. Harley Race is an absolute Stonewall legend in the wrestling business, and I do not say that lightly. Race upset Dory Funk Jr. to win the NWA Championship in 1973, and note, Funk was in his 1563rd day as champion. Race went on to lose to Ric Flair in the passing of a torch match in the first ever Starrcade main event. This was all during a time when heat generated during matches were as hot as anything. Fans would wait for the heels to leave and heels would have to get police escorts from buildings. A different time, eh? Can you imagine King Corbin getting a police escort from the Performance Center? Number 18, Brock Lesnar with 5 WWE Championships, 3 Universal Championships and 1 IWGP Championship. 4 months after debuting in 2002, he went on to SummerSlam to beat The Rock for the WWE Undisputed Championship, and it was pretty clear that they had a hybrid athlete on their hands. During the match, fans started booing The Rock and cheering Brock Lesnar. Whatever you think of Brock Lesnar, it's understandable why WWE always turns to him. He sells tickets, casual fans know him, he's a draw, and remember, it's all about the money. Number 17, Daniel Bryan with 4 WWE Championships, 2 World Heavyweight Championships, 2 PWG Championship, and 1 Ring of Honor Championship. Remember back in the day, Daniel Bryan got fired from WWE after debuting for the choke on Justin Roberts. Since then, he went on to become one of the most popular superstars in wrestling today, beating The Game, Batista and Randy Orton on the same night at WrestleMania 30. Bryan's had many memorable moments in the wrestling world, but my favourite championship reign was his heel run in 2018, particularly when he mentioned on commentary he wanted his daughter Birdie to kick Byron Saxton in the groin for consuming plastic water bottles, all the chicken he ate and all the corruption he's part of. What a horrible human being. Number 16, Vader with 3 IWGP Championships, 3 WCW Championships, 2 Triple Crown Championships, and 1 UWA World Heavyweight Championship. It's pretty simple here, guys. WWE just didn't get Vader. You've heard it 1,000 times and so have I, and particularly that match with Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam 1996. Outside the WWE, it was pure success for Vader. I don't know about you, but I think Vader will have his name in the Hall of Fame in the foreseeable future. Number 15, The Rock with 8 WWE Championships and 2 WCW Championships. The Rock debuted at Survivor Series as Rocky Maivia. He was a smiling babyface, a great in-ring worker, but it just didn't work. He didn't connect with the fans. But once he turned to the Nation of Domination, woo, the rest was history. The attitude, the sunglasses, the shirts, the smell, and of course, the people's eyebrow. He was a megastar in the wrestling world and is actually a megastar in the actual world now. And I guarantee everyone you ask will know who Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is. Number 14, Giant Baba with 4 PWF World Heavyweight Championships, 3 NWA Championships, and 3 NWA IC titles. I'm going to mention 2 very important names in the history of wrestling, Antonio Inoki and Giant Baba, due to the fact that Antonio founded New Japan Pro Wrestling in 1972 and Giant Baba founded All Japan Pro Wrestling in the same year. Giant Baba wasn't just a local star, he was one of the world's biggest draws, winning a couple of NWA titles whilst in the USA. All I've got to say is we have to salute these 2, as we wouldn't have many stars of today if it wasn't for them. Number 13, Stan Hansen with 4 PWF World Heavyweight Championship, 4 Triple Crown Championships, 1 NWA Championship, and 1 AWA Championship. Stan Hansen was the only man to pin Antonio Inoki and Giant Baba in championship singles matches in All Japan Pro Wrestling. He was stiff, he was a hard hitter, an absolute legend in the business, and a proper cowboy. What else do you want? Number 12, AJ Styles with 3 NWA Championships, 2 Impact Championships, 2 IWGP Championships, 2 WWE Championships, and 1 PWG Championship. Alongside Alberto Del Rio, he is the only other wrestler to win 5 different world titles. Styles was recently named the PWI Wrestler of the Decade, and arguably, he is the best in-ring talent in the world. From TNA to Ring of Honor to Japan to WWE, he simply doesn't have bad matches. He can't. It's like saying there's a cat who can actually talk. Cats can't talk. Unless there is one who can. No chance. Number 11, Edge, with 7 World Heavyweight Championships and 4 WWE Championships. What can I say about Edge, eh? All you've got to do is listen to the pop he got on his return at the Royal Rumble earlier this year. He won his first WWE Championship at New Year's Revolution. He was also the first Money in the Bank winner, and he is a tag team legend. He's done it all. But I've got to say, his feud with Matt Hardy over Lita was one of the best because it was real. No, literally, it was real. If you haven't seen it before, then I recommend going back and checking out that feud. You won't be disappointed. Number 10, Verne Gagne with 10 AWA World Heavyweight Championships and 1 IWA World Heavyweight Championship. Are you still with us? Good, because we got the final 10 now. A bit like the Royal Rumble this. Verne Gagne is a WWE Hall of Famer, and he was in the business for 30 plus years. He also trained wrestlers such as Sergeant Slaughter, Ric Flair and Bob Backlund, to name a few. Verne Gagne is a legend, and he paved the way for future stars of the business. Number 9, Jeff Jarrett with 6 NWA Championships, 4 WCW Championships and 2 AAA Mega Championships. You might be thinking, hold on, Jeff Jarrett, but no Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio, Shinsuke Nakamura, Ricky Steamboat? Yeah, as I said before, some of the names in this list might surprise you. Jeff Jarrett owned TNA at the time. He was crowned TNA World Champion 6 times and was a 12-time World Champion overall. I repeat, a 12-time World Champion overall. He was a great worker, great promo, and I repeat again, a 12-time World Champion. Ain't he great? Number 8, Kurt Angle with 6 Impact World Championships, 4 WWE Championships, 1 WCW Championship, and 1 World Heavyweight Championship. Kurt Angle is a rare breed. He was an Olympic gold medalist but never stepped foot in the pro wrestling world until he entered WWE. He has the wrestling side down and adapted to the entertainment side of the business like a fish to water, or food to my mouth because I love food. It would probably be like pick-a-mix if you were trying to pick his best matches, but my personal one would be against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 21. What's your favourite Kurt Angle match? I mean, it's hard to tell, isn't it? Once he left the WWE, he went on to be a pillar of TNA, going up against people like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and many more, before returning to the WWE to collect a well-deserved Hall of Fame ring and that WrestleMania moment against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon when he teamed with Ronda Rousey. What a match. Number 7, Randy Orton with 9 WWE Championships and 4 World Heavyweight Championships. If you've been watching WWE in 2020, then you would have seen that Randy Orton has been rejuvenated. At age 40, I personally think he is doing his best work of his career. He's one of the most gifted wrestlers in the ring and one of the funniest people on Twitter as well, gotta say. And along the way, plenty of RKOs out of nowhere, a few punts and even a toe touch as well. He's on this list, and if there's a few more title runs, which I can actually see, he'll probably be further up this list. Number 6, Hulk Hogan with 6 WWE Championships, 6 WCW Championships, and 1 IWGP Championship. Hogan may not go down as the best wrestler, but he will go down as one of the biggest draws in wrestling history. He was the king of the golden era, and even casuals know his name. When that I Am a Real American hit, just listen to the pops, especially at WrestleMania, they were deafening. His clash with Andre the Giant probably wouldn't have been received the same as it was back then because spots are much more prominent in matches these days, but he was never known for a technical masterclass in the ring. What worked was his character, and that's why he's a multi-time champion. Number 5, Triple H with 9 WWE Championships and 5 World Heavyweight Championships. As a heel, Triple H was pure evil. When Jimmy hit us with that Triple H, we knew that we would probably see a sledgehammer, we would see someone receive the pedigree, and if you're on the front row, you probably get soaked in a mix of water and hunter's spit. Nice. The Game is the person responsible for making NXT a legitimate brand, so we gotta thank him for that. He was also responsible for some great matches in history as well. one being against Cactus Jack at the Royal Rumble 2000 for the WWE Championship. It's one of my all-time favourites, and by the way, if you haven't checked out retro ups and downs on this channel, What Culture Wrestling, then I recommend you check it out. Number 4, Sting with 6 WCW Championships, 4 Impact Championships, 2 NWA World Heavyweight Championships, and 2 WCW IC Championships. Sting was a massive star in WCW. A massive star, especially when he put that black and white face paint and he was the loner. That was great stuff. Much like Brandon Lee and The Crow, he was one of the most prominent wrestlers in the Monday Night Wars and regarded as one of the best to lace him up. Number 3, El Connect with 15 UWA World Heavyweight Championships. Have you ever heard of a luchador slamming Andre the Giant? Well, El Connect did. I mean, we never saw Rey Mysterio slam the Big Show. Actually, I'd tell a lie, I did see that on WWF SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. But that's not real, is it? From 1978 to 2002, we barely saw El Connect not win the UWA Championship. With all of his title reigns combined, he held the title for more than 7,000 days. Nearly as old as me. He no doubt goes down as one of the most popular stars in Lucha Libre history and also one of the most decorated too. Number 2, John Cena with 13 WWE Championships and 3 World Heavyweight Championships. Whatever you think of John Cena, you've got to appreciate what he contributed to the business and the matches he had as well. Great matches against CM Punk, Shawn Michaels, Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar, Edge, AJ Styles, dearie me. What a list. All great matches. He was polarizing, he got booed, he got cheered. He has made a lot of money from wrestling and is now testing the waters of Hollywood, and I guarantee it. And you're more than welcome to come and tell me I'm wrong when it happens, but the day he retires officially, everyone will chant, "Thank you, Cena." Clap, 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 clap. Trust me. Number 1, Ric Flair with 10 NWA Championships, 7 WCW Championships, 2 WWE Championships, and 1 WCW IC title. Did you guess it would be Ric Flair as number 1 at the start of this list? There's no doubt about it, it had to be Ric Flair. Whether he was flying in on a helicopter, with the 4 Horsemen, with Evolution, with Bobby the Brain Heenan, or Mr. Perfect, all on his own, winning the 1992 Royal Rumble. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on about Ric Flair because he well and truly has done it all and he is a living legend. Many people from the wrestling business from the past, present and future have called Ric Flair the greatest in-ring wrestler of all time. And do you agree or disagree? I'll tell you what, I've got to agree. Whether it was the territories, WWE, WCW, it didn't matter. He always put on a performance. All the way to his retirement match at WrestleMania in 2008 against Shawn Michaels, and I've got to say, I definitely had a tear in my eye. There you go, that was the marathon list of wrestlers with most world titles across all federations. Let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments below. Have a good chat about titles and wrestlers and anything and everything to do with wrestling in this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, and as you're on YouTube already, why not check out some more great videos here on the What Culture Wrestling channel. I've been Nathan from What Culture Wrestling, and I'll see you again soon.